Hi, my name is Joey. I've been a wrestling fan way before it was cool. We're going to go ahead and address some stuff about wrestling. I started wrestling back when Killer Bees were on TV, and it was WWF. And Magnum TA and Dusty Rhodes, I'd like to consider, I guess they call it the golden era. Um, I think, I can't remember what drew me into it, but I think it was all the fantasy and how they stuck to their character. I believed everything they said. Um, every show I'm going to have my own little hall of fame for wrestlers who I think I'd like to induct if I had my own federation. This show's inductee is, give me a hell yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think every person who hated their boss, which is almost everyone in the world, can relate to Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was part of, I think it was, he was a tag team partner with Brian Pillman a long time ago. He was stunning Steve Austin at one time or another. He'd actually cut vignettes on making fun of Hulk Hogan and stuff. He was a wrestler on ECW. And WCW got rid of him because they didn't think they could market him very well. The DVD I want to talk about the most is the Jake the Snake DVD. It actually talks about Jake the Snake, and I guess the history of him and all that stuff. He had a really bad history. Well, I like to consider abuse, pretty much. Like, he talks about how his dad, who was a wrestler as well, and this is back in the day where like they didn't break character for nothing. Apparently, his dad sold it that he broke his neck, and he'd walk around the house even with a neck brace. And as a child, Jake the Snake would get freaked out because he thought his dad was really hurt. And he just remembers seeing his dad wrestle and just getting the shit stomped out of him. And he really thought his neck was broken, so he thought his dad was going to die. So that's my DVD pick of this show. It's a really good, really good DVD. Jake is notorious for mind games, along with he's extremely tall, and he's got a bit of a substance abuse problem, or used to. And there's a full circle between Stone Cold and Jake the Snake, because the 316 came from Jake the Snake. When Jake the Snake returned to the WWE and, started doing the Jesus thing and, kicked all that stuff, he said something along the lines about, the gospel, John 3:16, blah, blah, and Stone Cold just said, Stone Cold or Steve Austin, 3:16 just said, I whipped your ass. And it just kind of kicked in. The book I'd like to recommend is the Brit the Hitman book. It covers everything you want to know. About every issue, from his brother dying, to the family, to Vince McMahon. Everything you can imagine, he covers. My favorite story, though, is before, he became famous, of course. He was wrestling for, I think it's Calgary Stampede, his dad's wrestling, Stu Hart. And I guess their van tipped over in the snow, going from some wrestling event. And what happened was, all the wrestlers got out, all battered and beaten and drunk, and just worn out from their matches they had earlier. And there was a midget, there was a guy, I think it was Andre the Giant might have been one of the guys, but he was a really tall guy, and a bunch of other giants of men and other midgets. And he said there was a wrestler who was missing a leg or something. I don't remember what it was, but anyways, so they're still beaten up from the car ride too, that just tipped over, and they were coming over the hill, a big snow hill, to ask some help from some locals who were really nice. But I guess they got freaked out because they kind of look like a bunch of oddities, you know, weeble wobble, fall down, coming over that hill. Um, Another thing I like to cover is diva, announcer, referee, valet, mascot, uh, manager, all the unsung heroes. I'd like to acknowledge good old JR, who also discovered Jack Swagger. That's why they always call him JR's Blue Chipper, because JR discovered him. He is an Oklahoma kid also as well. JR's also got his barbecue sauce, which I've heard a lot of good things about. JR can tell a story, and you could be having the worst match of your life, and JR's going to make it sound like a main event. I have had many times where haven't watched a match, but I just listen to JR talk. He is one of the best announcers ever. It was a while back he stopped announcing, but I guess it was because he had a stroke. So, my favorite quote is, sorry about that, Hot Rod, Roddy Piper. And it is, every time you figure out the question, every time you figure out the answer, I change the question. True Hot Rod, Roddy Piper fashion. Favorite show and appearance, I like Walking Tall with The Rock. This is just per show. I'm just throwing that out there. So, again, Walking Tall with The Rock. He's really kind of been the I guess the poster boy for wrestling. You know, he's taken it places that Hulkster never took it to. He's accomplished. He's accomplished things that all these great wrestlers have never come across. He's an actor. He's good looking. Good. He's in fit. He's a great wrestler, and he has good mic skills. So I mean, he's got it all. He danced too. He can sing. He's a total package. And these are all things I'm going to be doing per show. This is our first show, so bear with us, guys. But I'm kind of just walking you through what it's going to be like with this show. We're going to go over the intro. I'm going to tell a little bit about my wrestling history, Hall of Fame for the show, per show. There's everything per show. DVD, pick of the show, book pick of the show, diva, midget, valet, referee, manager, mascot, announcer, pick of the show. Again, today's JR. Wrestling quote per show. Movies, and our glossary word for today is heel. Heel is the bad guy. Heel is the bad guy. That's your little, I guess, quote of the show. Great heel back in the day, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Again, doing a little full circle. Stone Cold premiered as a ringmaster for the $1 Million Man. He based his character off of Bruce Willis from Pulp Fiction. That's why he had that weird little crew cut for a while. Stories and rumors. I know a really good story. I always liked I guess hear over and over is a story about how Andre the Giant was in France, and he'd been drinking a lot, and there's some people that are drinking also, and they're talking shit about Andre. So Andre proceeded to get mad, went after him, and they tried to get in their little car. Andre the Giant picked up the car and flipped it over. I guess you don't pick a bear. Another good Andre story was Ultimate Warrior, when he was getting a lot of heat and he was on his run. He went in, he did the you know, he'd hit the ropes, boom, 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 hit the ropes, boom, 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 hit the ropes, boom, boom, boom. And Andre is trying to call the match. You know, Andre's been the ringleader for years, and you know, Ultimate Warrior wasn't listening to him, so Andre just whacked him one. Knocked him halfway across the ring, and Ultimate Warrior, he learned real fast. You know, um, I guess he affectionately called people sometimes boss. Hey boss, how you doing? Well, that's my Andre imitation, not the best. I'd like to talk about the real story of Aaron Rodriguez. You know what Aaron Rodriguez is? Okay, give you a hint. Well, he's going to represent Aaron Rodriguez. This guy's actually Santos. Okay. Santos and Blue Demon were wrestlers in Mexico a long time ago. I think it was on the 60s, 70s, around that time. And they kind of starred in their own little superhero type wrestling show. And at that time, Blue Demon was out on the injury, and Santos just worked for another film production type company. So the wrestling movies that featured them needed a new masked superhero. So they found Aaron Rodriguez, who was a good looking guy, physically fit, and that's where the Mil Máscaras come. Mil Máscaras means like a million masks. So he's got more than one, which I think Ray's actually getting up there. I don't know how many Ray's got, but Rey Mysterio Jr. has got quite a lot of masks. I mean, I can't even count how many that guy's got. That'll be a good little trivia if anyone wants to. It's a good question. How many masks does Rey Mysterio have? Go ahead and submit your answers to see who's right. Like counting marbles in a jar for me. So, but like I was saying, and I believe Mil Mascaras is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year with WWE as well. Freddie Blassie talked about how he was a nice guy, physically fit, but he wouldn't job for anyone. If it didn't benefit him and put him in the limelight, you can go fuck yourself. I think that's pretty close to a quote from what Freddie Blassie said, actually. You can look it up if you want. I also want to talk about Rick Rude from TNA. Who do you think he's turning into by his wrestling persona? I say, whoo! None other than the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. He's kind of got that Ric Flair swag to him, I think. Also, I want to wrap this up. If you have any questions, please submit them. Along with, I want to go ahead and mention, is it just me, or did the Undertaker hair look like a weave? Also want to mention Santino Brothers. It's a great wrestling organization I've been checking out. And if you want to see a really good wrestling talk show, go to nodq.com. That's what I watch. This is the 4-corner talk show. Unless you guys can come up with a better name for now. It's called the 4-corner talk show. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're running out of time. I really want to get to my tangent about CM Punk, Phil, his real name, and Daniel Bryan, who is a true Mormon. Yeah, those straight edge guys and the vegans and all that shit, they always remind me of fucking Mormons. Yeah, I'm hardcore because I listen to fast, heavy music. Alright, whatever, buddy. We have two definitions of fucking hardcore, apparently. I don't know. But, I'll tell you this. He is a phenomenal wrestler. I think I'm running out of time. This is all for now. Hopefully I'll see you in the next show. 61 days till WrestleMania, folks. D Student Productions.